Alright, so I'm going to be doing some commentary for this new Zsader meta that came up on Diablo fans, and it's been all over streams and stuff like that. I'm playing with a pretty good group right now. So this is in a Griff 74 speed. So this is a pretty good example of, I mean, this is a GG map, not the best mob type, but it is a good map. So you can kind of get an idea more or less about how this build kind of works. And I'm using my own variation of the build based around all the extra movement speed that I can squeeze out of it by using Wreath of Lightning and Flash on Steel Skin, or on Iron Skin instead of Steel Skin for duration, because I don't feel like I need the other survival stuff. I've seen people using Tagic, that might not be bad, but anyway, this is just the gameplay portion of it. So basically, what you can expect from this build is a good high co-efficiency rate with static charge. Good up to 100% uptime on Valor, Judgment, you know, and just a general, like a plus the 40% damage debuff, and just like a general good feel. Not as much lag as the previous hammer version of this did, because the hammer version just isn't viable based on the amount of lag that it creates. Like the higher you go, you just break the game. Whereas, I mean, like once the server's fixed, I'm pretty sure they'll be pretty close, to be honest. Hammers might actually pull ahead, but it's hard to say right now. This is definitely a lot less lag, and it's good. It feels nice. Like it's a good build, and I like it. Your basic role as a ZDPS in this party makeup is basically just to keep static charge rolling and stuff. Occasionally scout for pylons if your barb's busy, but generally you just kind of want to be in the thick of it, keeping everything debuffed and keeping your party buffed and smashing the shit out of fucking Condemn. That's pretty much it. Trying to think of other things to talk about. What this basically, I mean, like the nice thing about this build is what it does is it basically gives Zsader, like Zsader already had it in groups, but now it's just pretty much solidified. And the dynamic basically works like if we were running Sun Wukong speeds, if we were speeding 76 with Sun Wukong EP Monk, we're basically getting the same amount of experience speeding 74s. So, I mean, like, if you can keep it at the same speed, which it shouldn't be too big of a variance, but if you can keep it roughly around the same speed, then this just pulls ahead. And it's a lot easier to put a group together because you don't need like a GG Sun Wukong Monk to really hold up their end, you know? There's just a lot that triple DPS does. I mean, you do obviously need a good static charge monk. If you don't have that, none of this fucking matters, because the meta just doesn't work without a good static charge monk. As far as God, I can't even think of what I want to say. Sorry, I'm just so concentrated on making sure I'm doing my stuff right, which I'm not. Playing like crap. Basically, your rotation is just you want to use Smite to generate Wrath, and then spam your Condemn literally as much as you can, and be smart with your Judgment, and your obviously keep Valor up at all times, and you can use Iron Skin defensively, or you can use it offensively to move around and get where you need to be. Like right now I did it offensively just so I can get ahead of the group. Obviously we're going to go, there's not enough density there. But yeah, that's basically the rotation. It's really straightforward stuff. We can probably stop here. Yeah, this is good. Really, you should pretty much never not have enough Wrath to spam Condemn. There's almost never going to be a situation for that. The one thing that you want to be careful though with this build is using your Judgment. Like when you're moving the pack, you know, like say like there's this initial density here, and say we want to keep moving down here and grab more juice, you know, like the option is that we can pretty much just plant right here. This is the spot. It's pretty much the option is that the Judgment will it has a rooting effect as well, and that can be counterproductive to the Z-Barb or the Monk trying to Cyclonic Strike and move the density around. So you need to basically try to use that only when you plant in density. Kind of use it sparingly. That's really the effective way to play it. Otherwise, that pretty much just sums it up for the gameplay portion of this guide. Again, you know, like it was kind of just off the head ranting, but it's really straightforward to play Zsader. You don't really have to do any of the mechanics that you had to do in other seasons where you're clustering density or going ahead and creating density or scouting the map. Like, you can scout the map, but that role's not really too big, you know. Like, generally you want to be in the group, just keeping static charge going. With Hammered, they had a residual effect where you could leave the group with a bunch of hammers up, and, like, you know, get a few globals to go ahead and just scout real quick and come right back. But not so much with this. You pretty much just need to be in the thick of it, keeping your debuffs on the mobs and keeping your buffs on your party at all times. And yeah, so yeah, that concludes this part of the guide. We'll move into the gear and the cube and gems and all that jazz in the next part. Thanks, guys. Hey guys, Cthulhu here. So I'm going to be going over the Condemned Zsader meta that's been all over Diablo fans and the streams as well. Twitch. Basically, the first thing I'm going to go over is the gear now that we've done the gameplay portion. So basically, you're going to want to start with Leoric's Crown. Obviously, you want 100% there, you know. Ideally, you can go with life on hit or LPS, doesn't really matter. CDR, obviously, CDR. I mean, the dream would be like CDR attack speed, and then CDR RCR, bit all res. I mean, attack speed, CDR, RCR would be the dream here. Yeah, this is just fine right here. Attack speed. The Kunis or Steady Strikers is fine, really. You need the Kane's 2-piece, you need the Born's 2, you need Illusionary Boots, absolutely have to have it. Sacred Harness goes without saying. Obsidian Ring the Zodiac could be Leoric's Signet. It's really up to you. I don't have a very good Leoric Signet. I just prefer 100% uptime on everything in the kit. That's just kind of what I like. Star, yeah, the star is also could be anything really. Any amulet that you prefer. It's really preferential in this lot. I just prefer the immunity to Molten, since you're always going to be in the center of density, trying to create as much proc coefficiency with Condemn as you can. And then Golden Scourge is required because of the smite aspect of it. And then the shield, Predator's Wrath, absolutely need this. Then for the cube, we're using Blade of Prophecy, we're using Cindercoat, and we're using Roar. You need all of this stuff. And it basically gives you almost pretty minimal cost to Condemn, so you can really, like, and then you're getting so much back from Smite that it just becomes really strong. For legendary gems, I've been using Swiftness, Wreath of Lightning, and Esoteric Alteration in speeds, but you could switch Wreath of Lightning to Mutilation Guard or Moratorium or Tagic. I think Tagic would probably be the best since it's got the better defensive scaling, but it's really up to you. Then as far as skills go, we're going to go over, you want Surge on Smite because the additional break off point, as well as the 3 from that, it's actually quite good for generation. Condemn, Reciprocate, the Fire Rune, obviously, that's where the Cindercoat synergy comes into play, and it's actually just really, really good. Resolved, obviously, you want the 20%, or Judgment, and you want Resolved for the 20% critical hit chance. I mean, that's one of your big damage boosts to the party, as well as the 40% damage mitigation from Debilitate, which you can see right there. Akarat's Champion for the survivability and the extra NDE. Now, what a lot of people have been using in this is they've been using Steel Skin. I feel like if you don't need the survivability, Flash is just fine, because I like the extra mobility. I don't like to be stuck behind everyone else when moving through density, so this is just kind of what I prefer to keep up that. Plus Wreath gives me really good speed, makes me pretty much just as fast as Dash Monks. So I really like it. And then obviously Laws of Valor critical, because that's really what you're bringing to the table as a satyr. As far as passes go, Fervor, definitely want Fervor, because the CDR and the attack speed are just really good. Righteousness, just because it'll help you basically keep being in a position to spam Condemn. Indestructible, I mean, this could be something else, I guess, but I don't really know what you'd want to take. Maybe Fanaticism, but I think Indestructible is still like one of the best choices, because it's simply like one of the best like cheat death procs in the game, just hands down. And then Long Arm of the Law, because I mean, even with Zodiac, there's really no feasible way you're going to maintain 100% uptime on Laws of Valor without it. And that's kind of pretty much the build. I mean, I don't really think there's a lot of variance that you could put into it, except for maybe you could use Embodiment of Power, I guess, but you don't really even need that. I would say Prophet or Hasteful. Those are really your two choices, and then obviously Steel Skin here or Flash. And that's kind of pretty much like the customization of the build. It's actually really good. I'm definitely enjoying playing it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe, and leave comments here in the video if you have any questions or any of your own tweaks that you'd like to add. And thanks again, guys.